In the small, sleepy village of Maplewood, life was simple and predictable. The villagers knew each other by name, and nothing exciting ever happened until one day, when the local bakery owner, Mr. Harold Grimes, was found unconscious in his shop, and the cash register was empty. The entire village was in shock. Who would do such a thing in their peaceful town? Detective Clara Bennett, a sharp and observant investigator from the nearby city, was called in to solve the case. Clara was known for her ability to notice the smallest details and piece together clues that others often missed. She arrived in Maplewood with her notebook in hand, ready to uncover the truth. The bakery, a cozy little shop with the smell of fresh bread and pastries, was now a crime scene. Mr. Grimes, a kind and well-loved man in his 50s, had been hit on the head and was recovering in the hospital. The villagers were worried and angry. Everyone wanted to know who could have hurt their beloved baker. Clara began her investigation by talking to the villagers. She started with Mrs. Thompson, who ran the flower shop next door. Mrs. Thompson told Clara that she had heard a loud noise coming from the bakery late at night, but thought it was just Mr. Grimes cleaning up after a busy day. "I didn't think much of it," Mrs. Thompson said, wringing her hands. "This is Maplewood. Nothing bad ever happens here." Next, Clara spoke to Tom, the young delivery boy who worked for Mr. Grimes. Tom was nervous and fidgety, which made Clara suspicious. He claimed he had been home all night, but Clara noticed dirt on his shoes and a faint smell of smoke on his clothes. "Why were you out late, Tom?" Clara asked, her eyes narrowing. Tom hesitated before answering. I was just walking around. I couldn't sleep." Clara made a mental note to keep an eye on Tom. She then visited the village pub, where she overheard a group of locals talking about the robbery. One man, a farmer named Joe, mentioned that he had seen a stranger in the village the day before the incident. "He was a tall fellow, wearing a dark coat," Joe said. "I thought he was just passing through, but now I wonder if he had something to do with it." Clara's next stop was the hospital, where Mr. Grimes was recovering. The baker was still groggy, but able to speak. He told Clara that he had been closing up the shop when someone hit him from behind. He didn't see the attacker's face, but remembered hearing a familiar voice. "It sounded like someone I know," Mr. Grimes said weakly, "but I can't place it." Clara returned to the bakery to search for more clues. She noticed a small piece of fabric caught on the edge of the counter. It was a dark blue thread, the same color as the coat Joe had described. She also found a muddy footprint near the back door, which matched the dirt on Tom's shoes. Putting the pieces together, Clara realized that Tom had been lying. She confronted him, and after some pressure, he broke down and confessed. Tom had been struggling with money and had teamed up with the stranger Joe had seen. They had planned the robbery together, but Tom hadn't meant for Mr. Grimes to get hurt. With Tom's confession, Clara was able to track down the stranger, who was hiding in a nearby town. The case was solved, and the villagers of Maplewood could breathe a sigh of relief. Mr. Grimes recovered and returned to his bakery, where the smell of fresh bread once again filled the air. As for Clara, she left Maplewood with a sense of satisfaction. The local mystery had been solved, and peace had returned to the little village. But she knew that even in the quietest of places, secrets could lurk beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered.